On the breakfast, it's just one day to APC primaries. In Osun State, tension is rising. The Rauf Aregbesola group and the Boyegao Yetola group are battling for who would own the structure of the party in the state.
As fuel scarcity bites harder, insecurity increases, Nigeria's yet to end corruption as EFCC accountant steals about 10.9 billion naira looted Ikoyi money. We have details of these and analysis ahead.
And as always, we'll be looking at the national dailies and have a guest join the conversation.
A very good morning to you. Welcome to the Breakfast on PlusTvAfrica. We're back with another day of bumper discussions right here on what is a very interesting breakfast show. My name is Kofi Bartels.
And I am Messi Popo. It feels very great to be back on your screen.
Fantastic. Well, we have interesting conversations, continuation of part 2 of the Osun State, political situation, especially as it has to do with the All Progressives Congress. Yesterday we had a guest, one guest who seemed to, be supporting one side of the political tussle in the All Progressives Congress in that state. So today we've decided to bring another guest to balance it out. We're talking about that later. And some money is missing, and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have fingered an official as being responsible for that. We'll talk about that as well. But let's start with the top trending stories. Mercy, I missed you yesterday, so it's great to have you back with your smile and your warmth on the program. Fantastic. A video was trending online yesterday, and I don't speak Yoruba, but I could sense what was happening.
I don't,
Yes, indeed. In fact, I'm going through my feed right now, and I'm seeing a bit of what was trending yesterday. The chairman or the leader of the National Union of Road Transport Workers in Lagos State, MC Oluomo, the one who famously appeared in Tenny's song for your case, say she go report you give MC Oluomo. Well, yes, MC Oluomo is not someone to be played with anyway. He's been a strong, some would say militant, kind of leader as far as a body that is meant to be a union, as people come together and form an association with so much history, of professionals is concerned. And when you hit the streets of Lagos, you ask them about the National Union of Road Transport Workers. What they use is, Agbero. They call them Agbero. Now, for people from other parts of the country, like you and I, Messi, we only hear Agbero, we think of something else. And when we hear of National Union of Road Transport Workers, we think of something else. They are not the same. But in Lagos, they're the same. So you have...
So you're saying that when you think of an Agbero, you think of the...
Union
of...
that is what it is. Lagosians call the union people Agbero. So it's in Lagos, it's become a gradual... departure from that unionist thing we're used to a sort of a street thing, a street urchin thing in a way. But the history of the Agbero is not really like a street urchin. The Agbero in Yoruba means people who load people into vehicle, all right, to enable them move from the bus park. And these people, the history is that they transited from being area boys, in the communities around Lagos. If you look at the Lagos Island, some other places in Lagos, that historically Lagos or Echo, they moved from being the area boys because the economy was biting hard, after the structural adjustment program of 1980s. Yeah, with Babangida, things changed and people had to leave their areas, and now look for what to do. So they went to the parks. That's where they went to and started helping people to load, so they could fend for themselves. Because Naira went down and the prices of things went up, and after SAP. So it's been a gradual progression to the extent that now urchins and all that street urchins are now associated with this thing. In fact, yesterday the leader of the Keke union in some part of Lagos was complaining that MC Oluomo had taken over from his union. It was alleging, and that the man had been threatening him. So you now see strong men and some rough guys involved in this thing. But the NURTW in the southwest Nigeria is, from my observation, a bit more different from what you have in other parts of the country. In southwest, they are involved in elections. They're involved in politics. They're involved in, So the video that was trending yesterday was of MC Oluomo in a meeting with some people, a room full of men, okay? You know, something wearing earrings and stuff like that. So you can you can understand why people felt this way. And strategizing ahead of the 2023 elections and telling them how they meant to open some chapters, you know, in different parts of Lagos State and even the Southwest, you know, how they're going to build their structures. So an interesting guy on Twitter, Aye Mojuba, he's quite popular on Twitter, especially when it comes to election times. He finds his power there on political issues and stuff like that. He put out, I think, the first video I saw, saying if you think MC Olomo is and those in this ABC 2023 strategy meeting are jobless people or you're more busy than them, then you still don't get it. We can't wish ourselves into a working society, and like a warfare, we need a battle plan. So people, you know, castigating the man, MC Olomo, and saying, "Oh, these are area boys. They want to scuttle the election. They want to rig and all that." And the conversation going down the road of, if you think that you are better than MC Olomo, if you think that you are more patriotic than these guys, what are you doing ahead of the elections to prepare? You know, and are you going to sit down and see these guys if you think the area boys?
That's a very valid question.
Strategizing. They're building structures. You could hear him. So you who feels you're more patriotic than MC Olomo,
So what are you doing?
What are you doing about it? Because the NURTW has been accused by some people of being, you know, behind some of the violence we see in parts of Lagos during elections. In fact, some people from Southeast will tell you that they are not allowed to vote in Lagos during elections. You understand? So these are some of the things that cause people to talk. You know, yeah.
Well, I mean, some of the questions and some of the issues that you have raised are very valid. And so if you have, because the reason why you would have MC Oluomo being on the top chart, especially on the microblogging platform, that's Twitter, is because of the kind of personality that he is. I mean, what he's associated to be, you talked about the issue of militants and all of the violence and the Agberu and how people perceive when you use the word Agberu and the actual meaning. So that's it. On the one hand, it just feels like, so you have some persons who understand how politics actually work, and the fact that they are trying to replicate, you know, the structures across the 36 states of the federation calls for a lot of concern. Yeah. So the fellow who put out that question and was asking that if you are querying the personality of MC Oluomo and his involvement strategizing for the All Progressive Congress ahead of the 2023 elections, then what are you doing? But some people have also said you need to also understand why Awolowo created or is associated with the NURTW, and you know the role that he played. These are, when we talk about elections as a grassroots thing. And when you talk about the road transport, that's the NURTW, you'll also understand that this is actually a grassroots thing. And people who see elections in Nigeria, let's not even move away from Nigeria. We understand. It goes beyond having a lot of people, fancy, beautiful looking boys and girls on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, making comments and all of that. The deal is done at the grassroots level, and this is grassroots, and this is the strategy. Whether or not the strategy is, you know, okay, we want to look at it in terms of morality now, in terms of how they go about achieving the purpose, because politics is interest. Over time, I would remind you that you have constantly talked about the fact that politics is interest, and interest is what people will go after. Now, you also have the Machiavellian kind of politics, where people don't care how it comes, but as long as, you know, you get it, it's what it is. So the end justifies the means. And so it doesn't matter how you get it. And so this might be the strategy that you have some persons. We know, you know, the personality of MC Oluomo and all that he stands for over time.
What does he stand for?
No, I mean, for the fact that you have Tenny putting him in the song and saying, I will tell, I don't remember some of the words.
I could tell MC Oluomo.
For you, you know, if you do me wrong, I'm going to tell him, and you know what, that's going to happen. It will end well.
So you make it go rough you up small.
Exactly. So with all of that, it just boils down to the fact that we need to understand that elections is not just won by a fine boy face.
It's not a tea
Whether
party.
or not we agree, it's politics.
It's not,
and politics,
it's not TikTok.
It's not a talk. So you don't just come on national television and say, oh, yes, you want to win. So a lot of questions need to be put out. We need to understand that the grassroots has a role. Look, because if you go, I have monitored elections at the grassroots level, and I understand. So mostly you don't have all the the pretty boys and pretty girls coming through. I mean, a few of them would definitely, but the people who vote at the level of the grassroots, and if they're trying to put out their structures at the grassroots, looking at, you know, how the economy is right now, the issue of poverty, the issue of the inflation that has affected the economy, and you know that money politics can never leave, then you are sure that these people are moving, whether or not we like the strategy, but that's what's been put out.
Absolutely.
And so the
Absolutely.
Machiavellian, you want to also read up about what the Machiavellian kind of politics is, how the, you know, what that theory stands for, and how he operates. So it's definitely what's happening.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, then what are you doing about it?
You know, the NURTW in this year alone, you've had 2 incidents. One at Lagos Island, Idumota, at the market.
Very
there,
popular.
where 2 factions fought and gunshots were fired, there were bottles and all that, and the police had to go arrest some people. And the man had been under fire, the union had been under fire. Lagosians don't like these guys. This is, I mean,
Then what are they going to do
because
about it?
they feel that they in menace and in nuisance on the road, stopping people, you know, collecting money, stopping cars and threatening. You know, they feel these guys are not peaceful. You know, not all, but some. You know, because if you listen to the radio stations, the TV stations, and the comments online, people are not happy with the modus operandi of the union. I mean, even market women have to pay. The Keke union leader who says that M. Solomo has taken his union from him, you know, and is threatening his life. It's an allegation, of course, we don't know whether that's true, but that's the negative view people have of this union. You have also recently another fight in another part of Lagos between 2 factions of the NURTW again. This time gunshots were fired. It took the police going there and calling for backup, reinforcement from the headquarters to handle the situation. And some said that was the way in welcoming the NURTW welcomed the new Lagos CP with a gunshot salute. You know. So anyway, yeah, this underscores the importance of people, you know, or it explains why people are now saying online, you know, go get your PVC. If you don't have a strategy, you don't have a plan. It's not about sitting down and talking and shouting. It's about making sure people don't want to see the NURTW chase voters away, you know, and then just let's look at the video. This is real strategy. Politics is about strategy, you know. They don't want to see the election scuttled and then the will of the people taken away by NURTW, in quote, thugs, is what the word some people used. I wouldn't use the word thugs on them, but if you look at the comments online, some are using the word thugs. You know, if you go back to previous elections, you see the papers write NURTW thugs. You know, so I don't think these guys are thugs, but that's the description that has been used. So people don't want to see this. So some say, you know, go and get your PVC.
Well, but you need to look at the kind of persons that you have in the group, not necessarily trying to castigate, but like we have rightly stated, politics is a game of interest, and so people would always, you have different group of persons, political parties come in, you know, struggling to control power, control the seat of power, and be in charge. And so you also need to understand the fact that this is what it is, and so people would actually employ strategy. Whatever strategy, whether it's morally right or not, is a strategy that has been put out. And so what are you doing on the other hand is the question. So 2023 is not just going to be just a walk in the park. A lot of work needs to be done. Some people think that nothing is going to change because we have been doing the same thing over and over again. And if you have, on the other hand, you say you have a set of people, a group of people who are doing or behaving in a certain way, then how do you change that? You don't change that by just sitting back and complaining about it. You also need to come up with a strategy, because that's the strategy that's been put there. We don't know what they are saying. We don't know how they're going to. We're not impressed about this. How come these people are involved? It's the APC we're talking about, 2023. And of course, you have a certain candidate that's been projected. So yes, let's get to the drawing board. If you feel dissatisfied with it, then it's okay to come up with another strategy to counter whatever strategy has been put out by different quarters. All right, so next on the chart is a 102-year-old woman who has presented herself for the 2023 president. And that has been that's been getting a lot of reactions across board. I mean, for myself. When I saw it, the first thing I said, I'm going to be very honest, I'm like, are we now on a joke? Is this country now, everything is a joke in this country? But to be very honest, let's look at the Constitution. Everyone has a right to be voted and voted for. As long as we're concerned, the 1999 Constitution as amended has not put an age limit to who should not contest. And so that's why you have a lot of persons come out to vote. So anybody can come out, and she is exercising her right. She has a right to, come out and declare her interest. Whether or not we feel that...
Very strong woman. You can see her there. See her there.
I mean, that's so much bravery if you want to talk about it. But we cannot negate the fact that, this is what it is. I mean, on the lighter note, we could say what we can say. I've seen a lot of comments. Some people say, we will vote her. Some people have actually... Our president is not in his 50s. And you also have those others who are coming up right now.
People are just using this thing to encode catch cruise.
Exactly. So the cruise is going on. But to be very realistic,
to joke about online.
But we need to establish the fact that everybody has a right to vote, because the Constitution has never said otherwise. There's an age where you can actually contest, and so but there's no limit to who can actually contest. They don't say, oh, if you're more than 50, you can't contest. So she has a right. She's acting within her right. She's a Nigerian, and it's fine. The people will decide.
Yeah. So this is Mrs. Noye Josephine Eze-Nyeche declaring her intention to vie for the office of president in the 2023 general elections. She is the founder of a group known as the Voice for Senior Citizens of Nigeria organization. Voice for Senior Citizens of Nigeria organization. And she's been called by some people, this is what they call her, a living legend, Mama Africa. She's from Anambra State and Agwata, rather, to be precise. So this is her on a visit to the management of the Nigerian Television Authority to express her readiness to contest for the top position if the younger generation of the country are not ready. That's what she said. So if the younger generation are not ready, I will contest. And you can see she's talking clearly. She's very strong, articulate. She's in control of her speech and everything. And I'm so proud to see Mama out there. But the first thing, if I must be honest, the first thing that popped up in my mind was who is making Mama do this? To the younger generation to step forward. It's a challenge to the younger generation to take, they have not left, and the young people are waiting, and now the mentality has become that you have to be old to do certain things. People start in their 20s, the likes of Kwame Nkrumah, the likes of Nelson Mandela, and Nnamdi Azikiwe, and all these guys. They started young. Even if you look at the business tycoons of those days, even you look at the religious leaders of these times, the likes of Oyedepo, of Adeboye and co., started at a young age. They started at a young age. So we need to remind the young people that when you're 20-something, you're old enough to do things, And whilst, I think Mama doesn't really mean, she wants to, like she says, if the young people won't come out, I'll come out. The challenge is a good one, but I hope that, she can afterwards go take a rest. At this age, you don't want to be resting too much, because if you rest too much, you might lose some of your strength. You want to be active and all that. So let's see how it pans out. Like you said, she has the right to have an ambition like this. But apart from Mama Noye Josephine Eze-Nyeche coming out, some of the people who've been popping up online, within and outside Nigeria saying, "Oh, I want to be president." I've seen some social media influencers, some youngsters abroad on Instagram saying, you now begin to ask yourself, is this becoming a joke? Do people want to trend? Is this now a trend? Our youngsters know how to use some things as a joke. It becomes a trend. Okay, let me just say I want to be president and let people talk about me and all that. So we'll wait and see.
So if it's a challenge, is there enough time to have the young people, yes, as much as this could be a message, to younger generation and to other persons who are out there who have the capacity, but do we have enough time on the table? Would there be enough time? Because like I would constantly say, whether or not you like it, you need to have structures on ground. Elections are not just won by just being a young person or having a beautiful face and being very eloquent or having all of the education in the world. It goes beyond all of that. You need to have structures, and these structures should be able to relate with the grassroots, because that's how elections have been won. And so hopefully we get the younger generation, or the messages she's trying to put out has been gotten. But 2023, would that be a time for us to practice all of this?
Well, time will tell. Time will tell. Interesting, but kudos to Mama for not sitting back and for throwing the challenge to the young people. Let's see how it goes. It promises to be an interesting race. I don't think I've seen this many aspirants in a presidential race in Nigeria before. It's good to see people coming out and expressing their intention. But like cooking soup or stew, if you add too much water, it loses its taste. You understand? If you add too much water, it loses. So I hope that all these voices coming out will not water down the essence of finding a new path, or a progressive path, let's say, for Nigeria, to improve on the way things are, because that's what needs to be done. That's it on the top trending segment right here on The Breakfast on Plus TV Africa. We'll be back with more. We have interesting headlines coming on the front pages of the national dailies. Stay with us.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Booking November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Life can be fun and rewarding, but it also comes with some risk. As in business, you win some, you lose some. And that's why you need to be wise in the choices you make. It's like placing a bet. Again, you need to be wise. Wise in choosing an innovative platform with the highest market options and highest odds ever. That's why Winners Golden Bet, the leader in online, in-shop, virtual, and live sports betting, gives you enhanced platforms that offer you the best chances of winning. For betting on live soccer matches, live dog races, and virtual games. Winners Golden Bet is your best bet. Instant payment of winnings guaranteed. Play online or in any of our numerous shops nearest to you.
Hey guys, be wise. Play on Winners Golden Bet.
Winners Golden Bet, the wise choice.
program, The Moment of Truth, brought to you by the Citadel Global Community Church.